Right then, welcome to Rise Road Podcast number 41. Hello, James.
Hello, Ron.
Hello. I know we never do that.
That was weird.
If you hear me correcting the dog, I am sorry, but we want him to
I thought you were going to say me then.
Yeah, correct him. Like that. I want him to get used to the room, so, you know, it is what it is. So he might need telling a few times when he's trying to chew the fucking microphone cable. Isn't that right, Echo?
Yes, sausage.
I'm a bit more awake this week because the old pup's sleeping through the night now, so I'm not getting up at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. And I looked at me Fitbit thing, and it's like I was literally getting an hour and a half nap before my 2 o'clock alarm, and then a 2.5 hour nap before my 6 o'clock alarm.
Do you reckon you could ever make that routine though, when your body would just live on it?
I doubt it. Because I was crashing by the weekend, like full on crashing. But no, he's getting there, and he's getting fucking big quick.
No.
This week, I wanted to touch on parenting because I've had one of the listeners mention it quite a bit in like, my talks with him, and obviously James has had a baby and things like that. So I wanted to get a bit into it.
Mate, it's fucking easy.
I'm joking,
by the way.
One of the things that made me stem from it, like anyone that knows me knows that I could talk about parenting all fucking day. So it's an easy podcast to do for a start. But one of the things that kind of triggered it this week was I put up some snippet clips of my boys doing like a morning workout they do.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Or it might have actually been because I've had them, because they go Fight Club, they do Muay Thai. But last week I didn't manage to take them, so I got them just doing some drills in the garden gym on the bag and stuff.
Yeah.
So it might have been one of them that I put in my story on Instagram. And anyway, one of the listeners like messaging me sort of thing. They said about it, and I think he referred to it being as like, they'll be the next bloody Anthony Joshua or Eddie Hall or something like that. And I went, that's really interesting. Like that was his reply, and he's like, oh, okay. And I went, I'll talk about it on the podcast. And the reason I thought it was interesting was because that means he's obviously seen that behaviour and took that to mean that that's like extraordinary. Must have for him to have said, like, always they'll be the next Anthony Joshua, who's like a boxing champ, and Eddie Hall, who's a world's strongest man, like champion sort of thing, if you want to call him that. You know, those people like height of success sort of thing. So it's like to insinuate what they're doing now must put them on a path to being like that highly success. Like,
well, I imagine that's what Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hall were doing when they were that age.
But this is the interesting thing, because I'm like, well, they're not there doing it for an hour or anything. They're just doing like 10 minutes hitting a bag sort of thing.
I know what you're trying to say, because you're trying to say it's normal.
Yes.
That's what you should be doing.
Yes.
Anyway.
Exactly.
I know what you mean.
Exactly. You might.
No, just because my kid's punching a bag for 10 minutes doesn't mean he's going to be the next Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
It just means he's getting his heart fucking pumping.
But again, it all comes into them circles of what we said before about people thinking fitness is a hobby.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's not.
It's exactly the same fucking thing. It's like, no, I'm not training them or guiding them to be the next fucking MMA champion or anything like that. I just want them to have confidence in themselves, which comes from knowing that if you know how to fight, you're a lot less likely to use ego. I think you're more likely to go away from a confrontation. It's just when it all just falls into this realm of parenting, it's like I'm trying to set them up for life. And that's what you kind of should categorise yourself as when you become a parent. It's like your job is to raise them so that they become the most functional adult they can possibly be.
When you die, they're all right.
Yeah, not even when you die, just when they hit adolescence sort of thing. When they start becoming adults, and as they're going through them challenges in life, so like at school when it's like the peer pressure stages, and then like when they first start getting interested in boys or girls and all that stuff of them early ages where you possibly make decisions based on how you think other people think about you. You know what I mean? Like peer pressure things and what. Yeah, but then it's like those are the years that where it's like if they don't do it cleanly, shit happens, and it's like that's what fucks people up like into half the time for the rest of their life. A lot of the time
you take a lot of childhood trauma into your adult life.
Yeah, definitely.
Most of it, I imagine.
All the fucking way through.
I was definitely babied. Like, I love my mum and dad to bits. My family's incredible, but I look back and I'm like, yeah, maybe you should have threw me into some more difficult situations.
Yeah. Like I had a chat with a customer today because they're moving to Devon, which if you're not from the UK, it's like the lower part of the country, and we're in the Midlands. But the customer is just themselves and their partner. Good boy, Echo. Good boy. Sorry. You know, got to train a dog. Got to praise him when he's doing good. Yeah, something about that. And I said, well, obviously, why? It's just you and your partner. Like, yeah, easy sort of things. So if it was like me with the kids, it would be like, oh, changing schools and everything else.
Oh, God.
And then obviously
nightmare.
That goes to the typical narrative of it being like, oh, yeah, that would be a bad thing. Because I'm having to like make new friends and stuff like that and whatnot. But then I says to her, but there's the flip side of it that's interesting, because it's like, oh, would it be a good thing? Because keeping children in that same house, same town, same school all the way through their life, does that possibly lead them to living in a bubble? Like, because I feel.
Oh, mate, I'm going to live and die in Tamworth.
Yeah.
Like 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
1,000,000%.
This is what I mean. It's like, would it not be maybe a good thing to break them out of that thing?
I've heard that one of the most important things you can do is to leave your hometown.
Yeah.
Like they say, get the fuck out.
Because I feel like that now. But am I 33 next month? How old are you this year?
33 this year, yeah. 33
yeah, so I'll be 33 in like 2 weeks. And I've never left the fucking country.
See, at least I'm a little bit more learned than that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
it blows my mind you've never gone alone.
But like, I'm so anxious about the thought of it. Dude, because I've never gone anywhere.
It's so awesome. Well, again, yeah, because you've never done it.
Oh God,
you've never been to an airport.
Nope.
I mean, fucking. Nope. Oh God.
So yes, so that makes me feel like, oh God, like no, like my town, like I work in my town. I barely travel for work or anything like that.
So many awesome places out there, though.
They look cool as fuck.
There is so many cool places out
But then it's things like, I wish, I look at some things and go like, we've only got one life, blah, blah, blah. It's like, would I be happier and get more out of life living somewhere else? But then like, I don't know if I'd have the balls to do that because I'm so fucking stuck here.
Well, when you're a multi-millionaire from all this, right, you can do what the fuck you want, pal.
I don't want to be a multi-millionaire.
You can open gyms all across the country.
I don't want to open gyms all across the country.
I know you don't.
Actually, I don't know, maybe I would.
That'd be cool.
I know, right? Well, actually...
You'd have to like make sure you hire someone you knew personally to run them, though.
Mm.
I wouldn't want to hand something over with my name on to some random dude.
But you see, with my methodology, you don't need gyms.
Or you just have a Globo gym like in Dodgeball, where it's just one gym, but it's fucking massive.
Yeah.
And you're the head honcho there.
See, when I was again,
imagine a line of 100 pull-up bars.
I was talking to another listener of the podcast about this sort of stuff because he was on about getting back to a gym and whatnot, and I was like, "You know what I'm going to say? Like, you don't need a fucking gym." I went, unless gyms were just because obviously there's like trainers and shit. Because I think he was on about back when he'd done it and he'd see so many people doing shit wrong and whatnot, and it's like, and I was talking to another friend recently about trainers and things like that and blah blah. And it's all money. Like they're not actually there to help you. They're just there to make the fucking money. It's like if there's going to be a gym. I feel like gyms should just be the gym equipment there and maybe some staff around just to make sure you're not going to hurt yourself.
Yeah. Mate, if you do it like that, you are going to fucking hurt something.
But that's it. Yeah. None of this like PT bollocks.
No, because I can understand a personal trainer. If you are like, you genuinely have no idea, you're anxious as fuck about the gym, you've got no mates that go to, you don't know what you're doing, it's nice to have someone to be like, set a meal plan up for you, do this for you. Just to get you started, at least, just so you have an idea. Because I've always thought if I was going to get a personal trainer, I'd have a personal trainer for about a week. And be like, oh, so that's what I got to do then. See you later, pal. Cheers.
Yeah. But that's it, because all you got to do is look at calorie counting. Done.
I've explained that to people. That as long as you are burning off more calories than you eat, you'll lose weight.
Because I don't look...
Simple.
I don't look at it too much as to, like, the things I'm eating. Like trying to be like, oh, I'll eat more of this or less of that or things like that. I know generally you can get improvement. Like if you do focus on your diet in terms of like, this much protein, this much vitamin, this or blah, blah, blah. I'm not too clued up with that.
I think that gets a bit much, doesn't
it? A bit too much. So I just look at it as in like how much I've eaten and when I've eaten it. So it'd be just things like if I have a large late lunch, I won't have dinner. Like fuck that. I ain't having dinner. Don't need it. Like I can look at my day, getting towards the end of it and go, I've ate that. That was probably quite a lot of calories in that because I know it's shit. So I'm like, I could eat more now, and I am a bit hungry, but I know in my right mind if I did it up what I've eaten, I've probably had my calories today, so I won't eat anymore.
I think in that regard, with like watching what you're eating, it's more the sugar spikes. That's what I've noticed. Like, because I've not eaten biscuits the last 5 days, I do feel more alert, more energy. Yeah. I don't feel like shit when I wake up.
So again, if you know you've had like that chocolate bar or something in the morning or whatnot, probably don't snack them on in the afternoon. You know what I mean? Just like a general awareness, not so much measuring exactly.
Yeah, not like writing it down in a fucking book. Not
like
people
not fully mapping it out.
Someone used to get like the barcodes of everything, and like take a picture of it and then fucking put it on this calculator thing. So
I did it for a while.
Eating that many calories.
It
might have been you.
I think it was when I first got into calorie count. It's good because it helps you understand. So I did it for a few weeks.
I suppose you get to see generally what.
But that's it. Once you've done proper calorie counting for a while, and you get like a calorie counting app, so you do actually put the food thing in, and it comes up with the calories and whatnot. Once you've done that for a while, you get the general gist of like, oh, so these are about this much calories and this much sugar. Like you just get the general gist. So like, once I've done it for a while, I'm like, oh, I've got enough to fend for myself now. I get it. Thanks. Like I don't need to go by the exact number. I'll just go by the general thing.
Some people do it because some people like it's nice. It's nice for people to see the numbers, isn't it?
But it's interesting. A lot of people are stuck. We've completely gone off of parenting.
Is that what we're talking about?
I know, right? The thing of having the 3 meals a day. Like,
well, that never would have happened. That's just made up bullshit.
I know, but there's people that be like, I make sure I get my 3 meals a day. I'm like, you don't need 3 meals a day. Like, we weren't built to have 3 meals a day.
I don't know how people eat breakfast. How do people get up and go, ooh, I'm hungry?
I do that.
I don't know how people eat breakfast. When I wake up, food is literally the last thing on my mind.
I want it straight away.
I don't get hungry till about 2 in the afternoon.
Fuck, well done. No, I need food as soon as I'm awake.
And then when I get in and the dinner's cooking, dinner will be about an hour, I'll just eat like a sandwich and some fucking just shit while I wait for dinner to cook. And then I eat dinner. That's my problem. I need to take lunch to work and make myself eat something. I just don't know how people eat breakfast. It blows my fucking mind.
Yeah.
My breakfast used to be a cigarette and a cup of coffee. I'm good to go.
Fuck.
I'm out the fucking door, mate.
Oh, but yeah, in the general thing of... Because this comes from... Because you said, like, I'd have a string of gyms, didn't you? They come from that. Yeah, you said, like, I'd be a millionaire and have gyms around the country. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if I ever would. I'd feel like I'd just want my fitness channel to be more widely known. And just have people being like, oh, yeah, man, I'm just doing some burpees at home. I'm just doing pull-ups and I feel great. Because that's all you fucking need. But yeah, trying to circle back to fucking parenting.
Hats off to my partner because she's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Women in general. I mean,
yes.
Any woman that is like, obviously there for their child, as they should be.
I think.
But like the staying over, like for me, I mean, work's been really shit for me lately in that. But I'm like, when I'm at work, I'm like, at least I can kind of sit down for 10 minutes, have a breather, even if I'm at work, I can go off fucking 10 minutes and have a breather. Like, my partner doesn't get that at home.
Yep.
She's got the fucking baby like 24/7.
All fucking day.
And anyone that's fucking... I don't get the old mindset where it's like the women stay at home, look after the kids, and then you got home from work and you'd expect a fucking dinner on the table and all this shit. It's like, you know how fucking hard it is looking after a kid? Like, I know it's a bit of a jokey thing where it's like, I'm a full-time mum, I'm a that kind of shit. But it is like a job.
It's not a joke, that it is.
I mean, it is like a job.
I remember doing a post ages ago. I can't remember if it was when we'd had when we'd had our second son. And it was this thing of... Because when you say, like, it's like a job, I remember this, it's like, it literally is a job that you can get paid to do. It's called having a childminder. So if you want to go and work, and you've got a child, you will pay a childminder to do a mother's job all day. And they will be that child's mother.
Yeah, but childcare is so expensive.
Yes,
you might as well do it yourself.
Exactly my point. No. This is exactly my point. Because if you've got a childminder... and you've got to pay them to be that active substitute mother, I forget what the wages are. It's something like $2,500 a month. So I remember done a whole post and I added it all up, and it was like, that is literally the wage for being a mother, except for if you're an actual mother doing it with your actual child, you don't get paid that, and it doesn't get seen as a job, even though that exact role is an actual job, and you actually get paid for it.
I suppose it's because it's not your kid. It's like a labour of love because it's your child, isn't it?
Bullshit.
I know.
It's
hard, man. It is hard. And I mean, I get back and the first thing I do is like, give it to me.
Yeah.
So I'll take her friends for a bit. Like, she'll be patting about. There'll be like stuff that she'll text me.
But you see, there could be the danger then of going too far the other way. So you have to respect and appreciate the mother's effort being mum all day. But at the same time, do not then underappreciate yourself for working all day. You've both been working all day, so that when you come home, she's been working all day, you've been working all day, so then you split it. You don't take over for them then.
No. I mean, I'll go. It's my.
Don't worry, I'm not touching on you. I'll say this is a general thing.
It's my chance. I'll have her for a bit. You fucking put your feet up or something. Or you say she's half getting dinner started, but Olivia's kicking. I was like, I'll have her. You fucking sort that out.
Yeah, team.
And then obviously I'll change and pass it to her to feed and stuff. But it's just like it is hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be hard to be... It doesn't help that she's stuck at home. At least I'll go out of the house to go to work. I'll come here and do the podcast. I have my mate come round every other Wednesday to play Magic and play card games.
I said this when everyone was complaining about... I say everyone. When people were complaining about the lockdown and how they've been stuck at home, and especially parents with the kids and whatnot. And I was like, that's been my wife for the past 6 years.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because she's had no family help at all. like because we've had the kids all so close together, she's literally just been at home all day with at least one of our children, all day every day for the past 6 years.
I say we can't even like because she's breastfed.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of stores. She's been doing like pumping and like keeping it in bags like breast milk.
Yeah,
and she's got quite a lot at the minute all bagged up. We've got a separate freezer just for the breast milk.
Bagged up breast milk.
But that's
Hashtag
for when
this episode.
That's for when Sophie goes back to work.
Okay.
So she can give it to her mum or something to look after while she's at work.
How long does it last then? Do you freeze it?
Yeah, you freeze it. You put it in the freezer and it lasts for as long. Once it's defrosted and it's in the fridge.
Why have I got images in my head of you sneaking down in the night to defrost a bag of breast milk?
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, right.
And doing your old nose thing.
But
when we were kids, he used to do this thing where when he'd get excited and he'd like flick his fingers on his nostrils and like breathe in to make this
It's never going to happen on camera.
Oh God.
You're never going to see it.
If
we ever start a Patreon, it'll be a stretch goal.
If only camera phones were more of a thing when we were kids,
man,
man, I'd have footage somewhere of you doing that.
That thought terrifies me. But yeah, anyway, that's for when she goes back to work. So it's not like we can be like, because our friend Butler, I saw him post, date night with the missus, first night since I've had their baby. And like, we can't do that because she's breastfed, so we can't not be with Liv.
Yeah.
Because that breast milk's for when she goes back to work. Because we don't want we want to make sure we've got enough so she doesn't run out.
Yeah.
When she's back at work, so it's like we can't do that.
This still begs the question that I keep asking again: how long is she going to breastfeed for?
6 months. She's got the plan for.
Oh, okay.
She'll be going back to work soon. But then when it's 6
months,
why?
What's made the decide of like the benefits? There must be.
She wanted to breastfeed the first one.
Yeah.
Because she was, for lack of a better term, greedy. She just wants the maternal parent, the bond with the child.
So I understand why she wants to breastfeed. Get that. What I'm getting is the length of time. Like, why 6 months? Why not 6 weeks? Why not 2 weeks? Why not 3 months?
Because it's 6 months. All I know is that 6 months is when you start weaning them onto solids. So it'll be a mix of breastfood and solids, and you start weaning them off.
Right. So she's trying to do the whole milk period breast milk.
Yeah.
Right. So staying away from formula milk altogether.
Yeah. Because the only reason she tried to breastfeed the first child, but she was so, lack of a better word, greedy. She'd drain her and then have a couple of ounces on a bottle.
Right.
Like, look, she's been quite lucky and like she has just enough. Like she's doing all right. Because I didn't realise how fucking hard it is.
Yeah.
To breastfeed and like to make sure you're getting all the nutrients.
Oh, it was a fucking ball out with me.
That's what I mean. It's fucking. I just thought, it's easy to put them on your tit and you breastfeed, and you've always got milk there, haven't you?
Mastosis. She got basically where the boob goes like hard.
Yeah.
And the milk starts. She was in so much pain, like and whatnot. So we even rented this big fucking pump for like £50 a month because like the baby latching on she was so much fucking pain, and obviously you feel for them and that, don't you? So it was like such a fucking mess. We just did it for I think a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. I know it wasn't long. We just did it like at the start and then onto the bottles, sort of thing. But that was because for us, or for the wife in general, it was just such a fucking problem. Like it was horrible. She would be in tears and everything. But I'm like, to be fair, like if it's going well and she's all right, then fucking
it's
sweet.
Going surprisingly well, very well. That's what I mean. She wanted the maternal bond and all that kind of stuff. And like
skin to skin.
Yeah,
she was born.
Yeah. And then it's the first 6 months, and then we start weaning her onto.
Did you do that when she was born? Take the top off?
Skin to skin.
Yeah,
skin to skin with her. It's beautiful.
Nice,
it's amazing. Being a dad's amazing. I love coming back and holding her. It's my favourite part of the day.
But yeah, coming away from breast and milk, but still on the parenting thing, it's just the general arc, as I touched on already, of like parenting, about the whole thing of having it in your head that it's your job to raise them for adulthood but literally thinking, right, that is my job, that's the outcome, I want them ready to be adults. And the whole thing of like, here's a nice little example as recent as this morning. My eldest started to swear a lot lately.
Is he?
Yep.
I wonder where he's got that from.
Exactly. Yeah, you joke, but
it's true. Yeah?
But perfect point. Yep. So he was swearing again. So the missus scolded him, warning, blah blah blah. Looks at me. We have like a brief like, this is starting to get out of hand. We need to fucking get on this. So what do you think I did?
I'd imagine you being you.
Yeah.
You'd have gone, no more swearing. I'm sorry that I do it. I won't do it anymore.
Well done. Pretty much.
I imagine. Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you can't just chastise him for saying not swearing if you're swearing as well.
Exactly.
So he's just going to be like, why couldn't you swear and I
First thing I done, in the moment, I left it because I wanted a separate moment, because I wanted the moment to carry some weight.
Yes.
Which if I'd have just followed up, like your mum just told you off, oh, by the way, I'm sorry. It wouldn't have flowed. So I was like, I gave it a minute or two, wait until he's finished getting dressed. But before he got out of his room to go and brush his teeth, I went in and I sat on the floor with him and I looked him dead in the eyes and I went, I'm sorry. I says, I'm sorry that you swear because you've got that from me.
Yeah.
I went, I swear too much, and you've got that. And I said, I think even your mum swears more since we've been together, sort of thing. I was like, but it's a problem. I need you to work on it. I went, and if you don't work on it, I'm going to have to start putting some punishments in place. I was like, if anything, if you hear me swear, correct me. You've got permission to correct me if you hear me swear.
I'd love that as a child.
Mikey does it, my 3-year-old. He goes, Dad, you swore, Dad. He tells me every time, if I swear, my 3-year-old, he tells me, he's like, Dad, you swear. You said swear word, Dad. I'm like, thank you, Mikey. Sorry. And he's like, okay, Dad. So like, he knows.
Oh, Mikey's adorable.
But my eldest don't. So it's that thing of like, because some people might look at that and be like, the apology thing being like, oh, you're showing weakness. You've got to be like the strong alpha in the family. You've got to be the man, the dad, all this kind of bollocks. It's like, no, I'm setting him up for life to be a human, and he needs to understand that when he's wrong, he can accept that he's wrong and apologise for it, because he'll have seen the example from his father.
Yep.
He will see, right, like, because how often do you get kids when they're wrong? It's like, I didn't do it, wasn't me. They're like, no.
Extreme ownership, Ryan.
Exactly. So it's like, I fucking done that. My fault. See, I'm swearing now.
Like this whole Boris Johnson thing. Just own up to it. Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah, don't get started.
Don't get me
I
started.
don't want Boris Johnson, maybe.
Absolute fucking bell end.
That's right. This dog just looks dead.
Don't say that. Oh, he's good.
I know he's not.
But
dead.
yeah, no, Nella swore the other day. It was my fault, like you just said. Like, you don't realise how much they pick up, but something had happened. I was like, oh, you fucking prick. And she went, prick. It's adorable. I've decided there's nothing funnier.
If anyone wants to see that picture, I'll put it on my story.
There's nothing funnier than a baby farting, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Massive ones. And little kids swearing.
Yes.
When they don't, they're not like being aggressive. They just copy you. It's like,
Yes.
fucking what? And you're like,
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
See, when they're saying it like that, it does sound cute. But Harvey, because he's 6 now, he's saying it with
He's
inflection
saying it with aggression.
and anger, and he's like not happy.
So he's like, fucking.
Yeah, like he's playing with his brother. He's like, you fucking idiot. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah. You can't
I'm
be
like,
doing that.
no. But I'm like, but he's saying it just like I would say it when I'm having a fucking short temper, bloody fused, bloody impatient moment sort of thing. Ain't good. Best thing I'd do it like more now than ever is I'll say donkey.
Donkey.
I'll be like, you donkey. It's like word replacement's so much easier than trying not to do something.
Yeah.
Because the impulse is still there.
Nicotine patches.
Yes. Yeah, the impulse is still there. But again, it's just all that overarching thing of...
I've been really craving a fag lately.
Oh, no.
I won't. I haven't and I won't.
Well done.
I'm just like,
This little fucking addict fucking up the flow of the podcast.
Carry on, Sarah.
It's alright. No, it's fine. That's the real world.
What are you saying?
Okay?
Yeah, I'm good. What are you saying?
I forgot now.
Me too.
I forgot. I was on about the fucking parenting thing. But yeah, just the general thing of trying to think of them as an adult and setting them up for that. But, because again, this is the thing where I often see, is you'll get the one of two ways. You get the disciplinarian type family dynamic, where it's like, kid needs to fucking learn. Kid needs routine. They need to fucking know. Like, sorry, I'm swearing, like, don't need to. Like, you know, the whole, no, kid, you do as you're told. You listen to this,
Yeah, I know.
or they're just a kid. Like, you gotta let them live. Like, they're only kids. Like, they're only 5. They're only like this, and it's like, they need the package. They need to know that they are loved and cared for, and they need to see and understand how compassion works in the world. But they also need that routine. They need that structure. They need that guidance. They need to know the boundaries. They need it all, and in good moderation.
The art of moderation, Ryan.
And I don't like when it's like the whole, oh, good cop, bad cop, or mum's the nice one, but dad's the harsh one. It's like, no, you need to both be the same. Because how confusing is that? Because then they just think, oh, that's mum and that's dad. No,
That's what
they need to know that's how the world
that's what
is.
we were like. Dad was the fun one. Mum was a disciplinarian. But that's because Dad weren't nice and never saw any of us.
Yeah.
So Mum was the one
So we just
teaching
enjoy the
us
time with
all
you.
the time. So when Dad saw us, it was to play. And like,
Yeah.
I know Dad's awake. Hey.
Obviously, sometimes I feel like maybe...
I don't think my dad was very comfortable telling us off. Looking, but I really think about it in the back. I think he used to go, "Love, can you do that?"
Oh,
Like, I don't think he was very comfortable.
your dad's
telling us off.
fucking lovely.
Yeah, in the army, mate, he was the first one to scream at people for doing something wrong.
Yeah.
He was a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
So he was the first one to fucking have a go at someone. But he's like, he couldn't do it to his own kids.
But this might be a me thing, Like, because sometimes I think that maybe, like, I'm trying to give people like a general gist of like how I view parenting in general, which I believe should be the way, because you're trying to make little people be adults and whatnot. So you should go about it with that. I'm not saying don't love your kids. I'm not saying don't tell your kids off. I'm saying do that, but in the moderation, within the moment.
It's fine in the
and like,
medium, innit?
but also being aware that if you're wrong, never be afraid to apologise to your child when you've done wrong.
Well, they gotta learn, don't they?
And then it's just little things. What I try and do myself is I'll try and slip in any kind of fucking life lesson I can. So, for instance, lately my eldest, again, because he's like the eldest, so he's always at the cusp of what the next stage is, sort of thing. Whereas the other two are kind of following.
They'll just follow him.
So it's like when they go through something, it's like, well, I've been through that with the eldest, I know what to do with that now.
Yeah.
So yeah, with the eldest, it'll be daft stuff at the minute where it's like he doesn't. It's appreciation, right?
Yeah.
So he might get. Excuse me. At the minute, they're called super things, right? Little collectible toys, little diddy things.
Right. Are they in the eggs?
No, they're in a little packet.
Ah, right. Yeah,
little characters. But what it'll be, for argument's sake, they'll both get one, and he will prefer his brothers, right?
Yes. Because he'll want what he's got.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it'll be, there's been other instances of just things like it. So what it'll be is he's got something, whether it be a gift or something like that, and he doesn't appreciate. He's upset about it. He's like, well, I wanted that one instead, or I don't want it. This one's stupid. And I'll say to him,
you little fucking shit.
Nope.
Backhand.
I'm like, if you don't want it, that's
joking,
fine.
By the way, I don't condone violence against kids. Carry on.
Apologies for that. Quick camera thingy.
Swap.
Yep. Yeah, ruin my flow a little bit. But yes, that's when he doesn't appreciate things. I could go down the typical route of like, just as that, well, if you don't fucking want it, you can have it. Shut the fuck up. You want it or you don't, and leave it at that. But me being me, if there's a life lesson to go there, and I start to talk to him about, if you don't appreciate it, I will have to take it away from you, because when you don't appreciate things and look after them when you're older, you will lose them.
Yep.
If you're in a relationship and you do not appreciate someone, you will lose them. If you've got your car and you don't appreciate and look after it, it's going to like break or fail its MOT or something like that.
Look, every single one of my cars has.
If you think of anything in your life, if you do not respect and appreciate it, you will lose it. Whether it be a person choosing to leave because you push them away. Yep, exactly. Anything. Pets, stuff, just homes in general. If you just don't appreciate and look after things, they either die or they leave. You lose them in general.
Same can be said about yourself.
Yes,
body,
exactly.
mind,
if you don't appreciate yourself, yep, you lose yourself. Definitely. So I'm there seeing my child not appreciating some toys. So I'm saying to him, if you don't appreciate that, I'm going to remove that from you, so that you can learn now, or as soon as you can, that if you don't appreciate something, you lose it. And I've said this to him the exact way I'm saying it now. I'll say that to my 6-year-old. I don't expect him to fully acknowledge it the way a 30-year-old will, but he's going to have heard me say that. And that's been my one rule since I first became a dad with my first son. Because the wife used to joke saying, "Oh, you talk to him like he's a person." I'm like, he is a person. He's a very small, young person. He's a baby person.
I speak to Olivia and Nella like people.
Yeah.
You're right, Nella. I'm like, you're right, Olivia. You tell me about your day. How's your day been? She's just like,
yeah. I think she means like specifically then, like that's why I made a point of saying how I'm talking about it now is exactly how I say it to my 6-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't dumb it down like, oh, well, when you're older, if you don't look after your things, like they might leave you. They'll get little legs, and people kiddify things to talk to kids. I won't kiddify shit. I'll tell him straight. I will tell my kids straight so that they know what I mean, and they'll grow up. And these things will slowly. I always go by the 10% rule of anything I say. If 10% of that seeps into them, I'm doing my job.
Yep, good way of looking at it.
Because they're going to grow up. I mean, I'm already thinking like I was bringing them back from Fight Club today, and I always seem to get into a full fucking lecture on the way back from Fight Club. And I'll kind of step out myself for a moment and think like, I wonder when they're older if they'll be talking to like. I remember we used to go Fight Club with Dad, and he'd always get into a little fucking rant about.
Probably have loads of little stories about you when they're older.
Yeah.
Probably have loads of little stories about you.
It's going to be interesting.
They're either going to grow up and hate you or love you.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume that there's going to be clashing phases when they're older, I imagine.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Dad.
I'll get that now.
All that kind of shit.
Oh, I have it now. Again, my eldest. Put him on the stairs because he's been naughty or whatever. You're the worst dad ever.
Well,
worst dad ever. You're mean. That's another one. You're mean.
You're mean.
But then I'll have to cut to like, go on then. Why am I mean? Explain to me. Come on, I'm interested. Just explain to me. And he'll try and say something. And then, obviously, I'll rebuttal it. And he's like, oh,
Shit.
right, see? Yep.
Fuck.
So, I won't stop like, think I'm fucking mate. Nope. I'll just talk to him. I'll communicate. By the way, I'll never ever claim to be a perfect parent or that I am perfect or anything. All I'm saying is this is how I do it.
How your kids picked up swearing from you?
Exactly, yeah. But then it's like I don't fully see that as a bad thing either, because like
that's another lesson to learn, isn't it?
Everyone swears.
Oh, everyone swears.
I just don't like it because he's swearing like willy nilly, sort of thing, and I don't feel like he's got a grasp of it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He doesn't understand.
Like I've said this before. Like if I go to a customer's house or a client, I ain't gonna swear.
Yeah.
But with him, it's like he's doing it in the home. I'm not too worried, but I feel the way he does it is like, is he gonna be doing that at school?
He'll be at school, like yeah. And they'll be like, oh, that kid's swearing.
Yeah, and I don't want him to get judged then. From teachers thinking that's a bad kid. I'm gonna put less effort into helping him.
Yeah.
Shit like that, whatnot. So yeah, I don't want it to affect him in that way. But because we're all gonna bloody swear, aren't we?
Mate, fuck's my favourite word.
I know, right? Fuck. Mother, motherfuck, noise. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, noise. Smoking weed, talking beers, drinking beers.
Fuck, I've got the words.
Rolling fairly, smoking
just wait
blunts.
When people
smoke
say,
some blunts?
We
You
smoke
some
blunts.
Rolling blunts. Hey, let me get a nickelback. $15, little man, put that shit in my hand. If that money doesn't show, then you owe me,
my
jungle love.
Oh, we.
I think I wanna know ya.
Yeah, what? Is that Purple Rain shit? That's some gay shit.
Yeah, that motherfucking shit is the time.
That's the
Mad
times.
no, yeah. Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, beautiful film.
It's in the reboot yet? I've not seen the reboot.
No, I haven't.
It looks
I
like
don't know.
it'd be terrible, man. I don't want to watch it in case it ruins everything.
No. Apparently the new Matrix film shit.
Dude, the last one was shit.
No what?
I never saw it.
Yeah, you did.
I saw the second one, but then apparently the third one was terrible. I never saw it though.
Just to pause there and surmise on the parenting thing.
Yep. It's fucking hard.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Be patient. Think of them as little people. Take your time. And always be flexible and fluid. Like, so I said, what was the example I gave you recently? What is it? Where your stepdaughter was getting a bit heavy-handed with your baby.
Yes.
And I said, I think I suggested saying, like, give her a whisper cuddle or something.
Yeah, the whisper cuddle thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Because I used
To be fair, we had a word with her on that and she's been a lot better.
Sorted. Done.
Been a lot better.
Because I had it more of like a less serious thing. Just playing the remote control cars with my kids.
Oh, yeah.
And my youngest was squeezing the trigger just like full throttle the whole time, so the car was just crashing around everywhere. I'm like, he needs to learn to control it. And I was like, just gentle, like, I won't get it. I went, give it a whisper squeeze, I said. And he's like, oh, whisper. Because kids out there go whisper, like, oh, whisper. And they do everything soft and slowly. So it's like, you got to think on your toes for different ways of getting them to engage with the behaviour you want them to exhibit, sort of thing.
That's an awesome.
One of the ones I did early on, just to swing back to this, was with my middle son. It was one of the only ones that we struggled with him holding hands and walking.
Yeah.
And I met the wife in town the one day because I was on a job in town and I finished early and I met her. And she was stressed and whatnot because he was fucking about being a dick again. So I was like, tell you what, come here. So I just grabbed his fucking hand, I held it and I would not let him go. But all I did, literally probably every 10 steps I took, I'd pat his hand and go, well done. Good boy, Chester. Even while he was crying, good boy, well done. Another 10 steps. Good boy, well done, Chester. Good boy. I don't know, just wouldn't stay with you. But after that afternoon, didn't do it again.
Nice.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem, especially when you're a parent and you've already touched on the fatigue today. You're on about being tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before the podcast. And like, wife, partner, other half's probably tired as well. And it's that thing of like, how many people, even without kids, have had a tired fucking evening after a long day or whatever, and they're a bit snappy with their other half.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm sorry, I'm tired. If they've got enough about them to be able to step back and apologise because they realise they're tired and that's the reason for it. But then imagine how often people do that with parenting.
Yeah.
Because they're tired. So they're overly snappy and shit with the kids. I've done it before when I've felt it and I've been like, I'll try and distance myself from the kids a bit and I'll talk to the wife and be like, I'm not good today.
Yeah.
Like, can you take the helm a bit more? Because, like, I don't want to... Or it's been like, I've told the kids off a lot. Let's say... So we use the whole 3 warnings and they sit on the stairs.
Yes.
Yep. So we've had it on days before we're like... But then what it is with my eldest, if he's been good all day, he has a hot chocolate in bed, drink, and he can watch his tablet.
I've had him come down for.
Yeah.
Have chocolate. Yeah.
But like, if he's been on the stairs, he doesn't have that chocolate. If he's been on the stairs twice, he can't have his tablet.
Nice.
So there's been days where it's like I've put him on the stairs like maybe 3 or 4 times because I've given him 3 successive warnings and whatnot. But then got to the end of the day and been like, how much of that was him actually being naughty and deserving them warnings, and how much of it was me maybe being a bit quick to jump the gun and punish him, when really he was probably just being a bit of a brother with his brother. I could have let that slide a bit more. I could have, communicated with that. So then what I'll do is I'll still let him have the tablet in bed, even though he's been had all them warnings, because I know actually...
Maybe I've snapped a bit.
Yeah, maybe that was a bit me. And I'll go and say that to him. I won't just do it, because then I don't want him to learn, like, I've been on the stairs 4 times and I still get it.
Yeah.
I'll go and say, like, I've probably been a bit unfair to you today. Say again the thing I've said. You feel like you've done wrong, go and fucking apologise to your kid. And I've said, like, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have punished you as much as I did. You shouldn't have been on the stairs that many times. But I'm sorry, and I'll explain it like I'm talking to a person, not a child. I'm sorry, I'm tired today. Like, when you're arguing with your brother and whatnot, I should have probably spoke to you a bit better. Literally exactly as I just said it to you.
Yeah.
So you can still have your tablet, but then I'll put it normally with the then thing of like, as long as you're good now in bed. Like, if you start being daft now at all, then no, you can fucking forget it, sort of thing. Like, I will take it from you. But as long as you're good now, like, I'll accept today I was probably a bit too harsh on you. Good, so you can still have that. But yeah, if you push your luck now, then I will take it from you. Nice. And go about it like that. Again, I can't do that every day.
No.
Like, enough times. Like, my mother was here Saturday, I think, and I was trying to talk to her, and my middle son was in my face, Dad this, and I was like trying to talk to my fucking mother. In the middle of talking to my mum, I just looked down and went, fuck off. And my mother looked at me, her eyes went, shocked back. I never spoke to you like that. I went, Mum, it is what it is, isn't it? Just fucking deal with it. Like, sorry. Like, don't worry about it. So that's what I mean. I'm not perfect at all. Like, when I'm there going, like, I do this, and you listening going, yeah, that's really fucking good. Well, oh, right, you're amazing. I'm like, I can't manage that 100% of the time. Maybe 80% of the time I manage that. But yeah, like, I ain't amazing. So yeah. Yeah. So that's parenting in a nutshell, from my opinion. With a couple little anecdotes there for you.
I'm in a nutshell.
You wanted to touch on Joe Rogan shit, didn't you?
Well, not really. As I'm saying, I don't even know what's going on. I just know that people are calling for him to be cancelled. Cancel culture's like and all this
think
shit.
It's complete idiocy.
Yeah, from what I've gathered, from what I've heard him say, is that he just said, I don't know, I'll just talk to people.
Yep.
Yep.
But it's like,
how can he control what they're saying on his podcast?
Even Prince Harry and Meghan blah have fucking gone, because they've got some deal with Spotify themselves, haven't they?
Have they?
Yeah, I don't know what it's for exactly. So I don't know.
Have they released any music or something?
I don't know. But yeah, I think they've even like went to Spotify saying like we're telling you to like fucking remove him, and it's like it's just so interesting because
it's the most popular podcast in the world, mate.
But it's the most popular podcast because I mean even
hasn't he just said that he promises to like try and do a bit more research on his guests or something? Like
no, what I think because I watched the whole 10-minute video, so he basically pointed out like I'm just getting people like the people he had on that gave quote unquote the misinformation are like the best in the world in their field. Like there's no one better, sort of thing. They ain't just some crackpots he's got on. They're like the fuck. You don't get any better in that field than what he has, sort of thing. So it's like that's just their opinion, and he ain't like okayed it or like put it forward as blah blah blah. So I think all he said is he's agreed. I think Spotify have said to him, and he agrees that before episodes like that, they're going to put a disclaimer up saying like,
there might be misinformation here.
No. That's because that's the problem. It isn't misinformation.
No, it's anything to do with COVID, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like, look, there's going to be opinions in this that you might not like. Just a little warning like that. Yeah.
Like a parental advice.
Because he points out, I can't remember the specific examples now, but it was things like, I think he said like about a year ago, if you'd have said that the cotton face masks or whatever don't actually prevent any help or anything, he went, you'd have got told that was misinformation a year ago, whereas now that's like accepted.
That what?
That the face masks that we wear, they don't do shit. They don't do anything.
What do you mean they don't do anything?
They don't do anything.
Yes, they fucking do.
But they don't.
What do you mean they don't do anything?
It's just you still breathe out of it, don't you? Your air still.
Yeah, it's not. It's to stop you from spreading it on. It's not to stop you from getting it.
I don't. All I know is what he said. Apparently, it's if we went and Google it now, we could probably find out.
I mean, to be honest, if it's good enough for surgeons to wear, it's good enough for me.
Like, if you want to know exactly what he said, go onto Joe Rogan Instagram, saying this for
Yeah,
everyone
no,
listening.
it'll be on there, yeah.
Joe Rogan Instagram. It's the last posted on. It's 10 minutes, and he lists a couple things that a year ago were considered quote unquote misinformation, but now they're like all like. Because it's American, isn't it? He says like it's on CNN. This news station, all as that's fact now. That's information, not misinformation. Right. But he cites several different things. So he's like, so the podcast I've done with these people, like you're just saying it's misinformation because that's just what you think. Like there's nothing to prove it's misinformation. It's just information. But so all he did say is that they'll put like some sort of disclaimer on beforehand, and then what he did say is he might schedule his podcast better so that whenever he has a podcast on with people that have a view from this side, that he'll make sure the next podcast is
someone counteracting argument kind of thing.
Because he said he has had, and he listed other people that he's had on that do counter those quote unquote misinformation podcasts. He's like, but no one's fucking talking about them, are they?
Right, because they fit their narrative.
Yeah, again, it's all just horse
I'm
shit.
still like, what? Cotton masks aren't effective? Yeah. Why do people wear it in hospitals then?
It's just
why do surgeons and doctors wear them though? They've been wearing them for like ever.
Don't know.
So why do they wear them if they're not effective?
I don't know. No idea.
They're effective. Misinformation.
I see, but see, you're doing it now. You're saying, of course they are. You don't know.
I know. I'm winding you up, Ryan.
But no, you're not. Yes, you're saying what you think, which is fair enough to a point.
All I'm saying is, why would surgeons wear them if they're not effective at all?
So what you should say is like, well, it's weird that they wear them when it's not meant to do anything. That's interesting, but I don't physically know. I ain't done any tests.
Oh, I know fuck all about it, mate. I'm not
I don't know tests or nothing.
All I know is that doctors wear them, we must wear them, because doctors know their shit.
You like to think they do.
Oh, you'd imagine so. Yeah. They go to all the fucking universities and shit for
mate,
nothing.
I question so much these days of like, do we really?
I think from like a medical point of view, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
But the problem is, it's like this is all like the here and now, isn't it? And it's like we've got enough history now to look back and be like, there was a time where doctors were promoting smoking. They advertised smoking as being a healthy thing for you to do.
Doctors used leeches.
Exactly, but what you
some people still do that.
But what you got to think is, at that time, it was like, oh, smoking's good for you. Thanks, doc. You know what you're talking about. You're a doctor. I'm going to smoke because this is good.
I know, but I think this is a little bit different to them wearing masks. I wonder about the mask bit, not actual treatments.
I don't know. I'm just using that as an example of like, we never know it's actually true or real or good. It feels like. Because it's only true or real until someone proves it otherwise. And it's like, oh, so that's not good. Right, okay. But then year before it's like...
they used to think bacon was good for you, didn't they? And then it was like, oh no, it just heart attacks and... Apparently Starlight gives you cancer now.
Starlight?
Yeah.
Like from the stars?
Yeah.
What are you doing, pup? You're not chewing on my slipper, are you?
The world's just full of chaos. Who was I talking to about it?
No idea.
There's a lad at work, and he was like, he's adamant, like, he believes in fate. Like, he's adamant, he's a real believer in fate, and like, he thinks everything happens for a reason.
Nope.
No, you know the world's just crazy, random chances. He's like, if my dad didn't join the army at 18, he would never have met my mother, and I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't know that. I might have met. I think fate, you're meant to meet each other. I was like, no.
I like to ponder.
It's nice, innit? It's nice
I like to ponder about stuff. Like, I met my wife because she moved in across the road from my brother. She was the MILF over the road.
Yeah, she was.
Sort of thing.
I remember that.
So it's things like, I'll say stuff like, I hate her previous relationship because the guy was a complete cunt. And I'll often say to her, like, I wish I met you sooner, so like you didn't have to deal with that.
Well, then she wouldn't be who she was when you met her.
But she might not have moved there.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm like, or would something else have happened and she would have still would we have ended up meeting somewhere else? You never know. So that's why I like to ponder it, but I will never sit there and be like, these happened for a reason.
I don't believe anything happens for a reason. I believe that things happen and we take advantage. Not take advantage, we seize it.
There's got to be a film like that in there.
I don't think so. Butterfly Effect, maybe? I don't know.
I just feel like there could be a film where it's like, it splits up like a couple get together from one way and but it don't work. Then they meet together another way and it don't work.
That's got to be a film.
And it's like, I feel like it is.
You think so, yeah. Or at least a book or something. Like, there's got to be something on that.
Yeah. I thought we'll start to rein it in.
Yeah.
What I want to start, I think I started doing it at the end of last week's podcast, is ways to support the podcast.
Yeah, send us money.
You're a prick. Dick.
I'm joking, we don't even have a Patreon yet.
No legitimate thing, right. Dick.
Carry on, you go first then.
Cool. With YouTube, it's obviously the whole like, subscribe, comment thing. I do like the comments if you can like
it's nice
pop
to
anything
have a
on.
comment in it.
Yeah.
First, let's take a selfie.
We need to do that at the end.
I know, you know. Smiles. Nice.
Yes, liking the videos on YouTube apparently really helps. If you're new to the podcast, especially watching it on YouTube, subscribe so you know when the new ones are coming. And any thoughts at all? Like, we've got a close...
Is there still a bell on YouTube? Will you subscribe?
Maybe.
Click that bell.
Hit the bell. Ding the bell.
Ding the bell.
I had a close friend talk to me the weekend because we mentioned Molly May, didn't we, last week?
Who the fuck is Molly May?
Molly May, the Love Island one. The one that was on
Yes.
about we'll have the same 24 hours.
In a day.
Yeah. So, like...
Which we do, but I get why people didn't like it.
He had a conversation with me because of the way... I won't fully go into it, but the way it come across, and he said it might have come across this way, and I know you didn't... Might not have meant for it to come across that way, and blah, blah, blah. The point I'm getting at
what
is
about
that...
us?
Yeah. I don't want to get fully into it because it's not overly that important right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah. To half nutshell it, it was a thing of, yes, it's a fact that we all have the same 24 hours. The world spin round, the sun and everything, facts like that. But you say that to someone that's like terminally ill in bed.
No, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Logically speaking, we have the same 24 hours.
Yeah, that was...
we don't. I know what you mean.
That's all we were saying.
If you live on your own with 9 kids, you haven't got the same 24 hours I've got.
Yeah.
I'll have some free time.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a fucking minefield.
But
she never should have said it because it is a fucking minefield.
But the point I'm getting at is with that is that
crazy.
I says to him, I went, why didn't you comment that for me? And I'd have brought it up.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I mean. If you've listened to any of my fucking podcasts and I've made you feel a certain way, like bad or good, literally any kind of fucking
any
feedback.
Thought?
Yeah, fucking comment. If you didn't agree with me, tell me. If you did agree with me, tell me. If there's something that you'd be interested in me thinking or talking about, or us, should I say, tell us. Just fucking say. Like, don't be afraid to come and tell me. You made me feel a bit shit when you said this. I don't agree with you when you said that. I wouldn't approach parenting like that, or I don't think you're right teaching your kid. You're very bad for swearing with your kids and whatnot. I will never argue with anyone. I will always what's the word?
Present your case.
No, but I'll always listen.
Yeah.
I'll always be intrigued as to... I'll listen to what you think, and I'll be intrigued as to why you think that, and we'll have a conversation sort of thing. Or I'll you can give me some points and I'll bring it up on the podcast or whatever. Anything like that when it comes to YouTube. I will start narrowing down this whole way to support the podcast segment because I don't want it to drag on like this. Or YouTube. I know you always say rate the podcast on the podcast platforms.
Oh yeah, I know podcast platforms. Rate and give us... the only podcast platform I use is Apple. So Apple Podcast. So yeah, just give us 5 stars, leave a comment. It greatly helps.
That's it. And I think the biggest one, if you really want to help support the podcast and help it grow and help us reach more people, is to share it. So if you've watched this episode and you've enjoyed it or anything like that, bang it in your story on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to literally share the link in your story or on your Facebook or anything, or if you're talking to a friend or anything like that about podcasts.
Word of mouth is still an incredible way of promotion.
I'd rather get...
90% of the podcasts I listen to are from mates telling me about podcasts.
I had one of the listeners message me a screenshot the other day because I always put in my Instagram post something's greater than nothing. And they told it to their friend, and then because she was having a bit of a shitty day, their friend retold that back to them.
Nice.
They sent me the screenshot, and she was like, I thought you'd like that. I'm like, that's fucking sick.
That's the whole point. That's why you do it.
Because I've always had pictures of getting it on a t-shirt.
I like the bucket idea. I like the bucket with a hole in.
I swear, I think it's tomorrow, because it'll be the 1st of March tomorrow.
No, it won't be the 1st
of February. I need to double check. I can't remember if the podcast started either the 1st of February or the 1st of March. It might be the 1st of March. I'll double check. All I know is we're coming up to it being a year. It's getting close. Right, we're going to leave it there. I think it was a bit better than last week. Last week I was fucking sleepy.
Oh, I'm going to bed, but not getting.
Right, leave it like that. Love you all.
Love you all. Daddy Jane Gaming at Instagram.
I always forget these.
Yeah.
Ryans.road Instagram and Ryans Road 22 on Facebook, I believe. If it's on YouTube, I'll put all the links in the description and stuff like that. Right, love you all. We're going to go.
Peace out. Mwah. My fist. Salute.
Idiot.
I mean, that's an American salute, isn't it? That's a British salute. Salute.
Love you. See you all.
In conclusion, this week, the world's going to end. Mason Greenwood is a rapist, and Joe Rogan doesn't fact check properly. What a week.
Well, we're not going to agree on that.
Up to our knees in Fenian blood. Surrender or you'll die. Fucking chap.
You better not piss in here, dog. You listening? Hey, Echo, sit.
Fuck. I wish I could find God. I've got the Bible on audiobook. Never listened to it.
My face is, man. What the fuck?
My wife.